Hey guys, it's the Artsy Gamer back again for another video in our channel. Of course, grab your teas, grab your coffees, and yes, maybe a little bit of food. And yes, let's do this. Now, oh my gosh, guys, let's take a sip of black coffee before we begin. You know how this works now. Come on. Lovely. And of course, going on my Crash Bandicoot coaster there. And yes, guys, if you're new here today and you're into gaming retrospectives, complete and box experiences, art and graphic design, and of course, a whole load of nostalgia, then yes, you are so in the right place here. So definitely consider giving this channel a subscribe and a like to the video if you haven't already. And yes, guys, if you can handle the Artsy Gamer mess and madness and want to get notified when the next video goes live, then of course, just pop on your notification bell held up by Tails there. While you have probably seen from the thumbnail, it is the winner announcement today. Oh yes, over this week I have had a competition running for one of you lucky people out there to hopefully bag a Sparks that I have drawn. Let's just bring it to the camera here. Yes, haha. So about a few weeks ago now, I started this really lovely Sparks piece. It was actually a bit of an idea and a bit of inspiration that came from David, a lovely fan of the channel. We have recently been playing on split fiction, and he did actually want a bit of a split fiction piece, but I actually also wanted to get a bit of, like, I don't know, another kind of character model on the go. And I was like, you know what? That kind of mystical, magical, sci-fi and fantasy world really does kind of tie in a little bit of Spyro. So I was thinking, yeah, actually, what I could really do is draw Sparks there, because I haven't done a Sparks, and I would like to add, like, you know, do a few actually art pieces where I've done the main protagonist and then their little sidekick. You know, this is kind of like the beginning of what I'm hoping to do. You know, for example, you know, Uka Uka Mask maybe with my Crash Bandicoot piece that I've done.
But yeah. Just that.
I am losing my words. Sorry, let's just take a sip of black coffee.
I think it's because I'm excited. When I get excited, guys, yeah, I start to lose my words. 2 seconds. Come on, join me. You know, protagonists, sidekicks, you know, I get excited.
You know, protagonists, sidekicks, you know, I get excited.
But yeah, we were like, right, okay, well, I could probably work a little bit of this in with Sparks. So yeah, what I decided to do was do a big kind of split down the middle there, that kind of representation of that split fiction as well that is seen on the box art there. And then what I actually did was I kind of made one half of Sparks's wings, yeah, that mystical adventure, you know, fantasy kind of vibe. And then the other half, that sci-fi, that futuristic look, if you can just see there. And I think it actually really pulls it together, and I think it works really, really well. Very happy with how this came out. And guys, I used my new pencil sets for this today. So it actually has a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a shine to it. Every time the light catches on it, you can see almost like a sparkle effect. And again, you know, that is crying out for a sparkle, isn't it? Because it sparks. You know, when you see Spyro with Sparks next to him, there's kind of like, yeah, these flutters of sparks, you know, trickling down the side. So I think it actually works really, really well. And of course, one of you guys today will bag this piece. Oh my gosh. Well, what I will be doing, I will be popping all the names of the people who entered into one of my bucket hats up there. We haven't had the Sesame Street one in a while, so we might get that one down. I'll pop all the names into the hat, and then I will reveal the winner. But of course, guys, yeah, I'm going to save that for the end of the video because I've got a lot to talk about today. And yeah,
I want to leave you guys hanging, so yeah.
Let's crack on then. Of course, it is the weekend, so we are going to get a little bit arty-farty. I'm actually not going to draw anything today. We're going to be adding to a piece that I've currently started. This is actually going to be my piece that I would love to give away for my 500 subscriber mark. That is a massive milestone for me, so I do think think it deserves actually a little bit of a bigger piece. And yes, if you have been watching me, I am in the works of doing a collaboration again with Tea Break Drawing, another fan of the channel, another artist as well that I've really got to know over my year. Well, I was about to say years then, guys. Months.
Yeah, well, I was about to say years then, guys. Months.
Of doing YouTube and TikTok. And yes, he kindly drew this fantastic Crash Bandicoot here. Now, what happened was he just came up with like an idea of just drawing a random character, didn't tell me what it was going to be, so it could act as a little bit of a surprise. And then I have to work some sort of art piece in with it. And then, yeah, oh my gosh, he came back with this awesome Crash. Just look at that. Don't you think that is really representative of that OG Crash Bandicoot model, that PS1 vibe, those lovely angles, those polygons? In fact, I have got the box here to just kind of reference that. But you know, look how similar that is there. Oh, sorry about the glare there. But look how similar that is. I think it is really, really great. So my idea was to actually kind of complete the look of that box art. And last week I started to draw this lovely Crash logo here, obviously the one that is seen on that box art there. And I was thinking, well, what I could do is then cut the Tea Breaks Crash, pop him in the middle there, and then we can actually start to work some other features around the sides as well. And once it's all come together, once it's coloured in and complete, then yes, hopefully that will be in time for my 500 sub mark, can you believe? So yeah, that is the vibe that we are going for. Now in today's video, I was actually going to do a little bit of a tips and tricks on how to carefully cut out a model of your choice to then go and stick on another piece of paper, because it can be quite hard to do. If you know, getting that scissor right, getting the glue stick right as well. Yeah, it is actually quite a hard task to do if you want to really make it look good. So I was thinking I might take you through a bit of a step-by-step process today on how to do that. But one thing, guys, before I came to the camera. Yeah. I've lost my scissors. I don't know where my scissors have gone. And that is a key tool for me. I'm always cutting out things. So I don't really know how I'm going to really do the giveaway today. I'm just going to have to rip the names off and then put them in the hat. So they might not look as like nice and pristine when I hold them to the camera later on. So I was like, what the hell? How am I going to do today's video? But then I thought, well, actually, ripping. Yeah, ripping. I think this could actually work really well if I take you through a little bit of a process on how you can carefully rip some character models or designs or prints from a piece of paper, because yes, that is an art form in itself. And I think that will actually really work, because you know what, guys, this does kind of give me like a ripped effect. He's kind of ripping through, he's jumping through that box art there. I think I have actually seen images where this Crash is kind of like piercing through a piece of paper, what it looks like to be anyway. So I was thinking that ripped effect could actually work really well with today's piece. So that's what we're actually going to do. Again, it sounds really horrible, but we are going to
Rip up Tea Breaks Crash Bandicoot here.
And just kind of give it like a ripped effect, and then we'll carefully stick this on the piece of paper here with the lovely logo, and we'll see how it works out. In tomorrow's video, that's when I'm hoping to do actually a little bit more drawing around the sides, get those totem poles and stuff like that, and the vegetation around the sides, and then probably the week after, we'll add to the colour and all that stuff. So yeah, very, very excited of how this is going to come on. All you need today then really is your fingers to start ripping, and a glue stick, and yeah, that will wrap things up, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sip of coffee, and then we'll jump over into the art studio. Okay then, guys, so yes, here we are set up in the lovely art studio, and yes, I've got my coffee on by my side, so we'll just take a quick sip of that. Come on, join me. Lovely. Okay. And oh my God, I don't want to be wrecking my backdrop there. Blimey. Anyway, so here we are with the lovely Crash Bandicoot, kindly drawn by T-Brick here right in front of us. And like I said, I'm going to take you through a bit of a step-by-step process on how we rip out this character model to then place on this lovely piece that I've done here previously, that lovely Crash logo there, and T-Break Crash is going to center right in the middle of that. Now, like I said, unfortunately, I have no idea where my scissors have gone, but yes, I always say if little things like that go wrong, then actually turn it into a bit of a positive, and I think it actually might work really well if we do a ripped effect around this Crash piece here. And yeah, I've done this method before. I think it's really, really effective, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I have seen some versions of this case here where Crash is actually ripping out of his backdrop. So I think it really does tie all together as well. So here we go then, ripping. How do we do this? Now it might sound pretty straightforward actually. You just rip a bit of paper and then you're good to go. Well actually, yes, there is a bit of a method to it if you want to do it nice and neatly and stuff like that. Okay then, so to start off with, I would always advise just start to rip a little bit at the top of your page just to get a feel of how smooth or how rigid your piece of paper is. Different pieces of paper can rip differently. Thicker pieces of paper actually, I would say, work a little bit easier. Thinner pieces of paper actually rip a little bit more haphazardly. So just take your time to actually get the piece of paper that you're working with and just have a little practice. How easy is it to rip? Where is it ripping to? What directions are they likely to kind of steer off to? And then that will give you a bit of a guideline of how you're going to be able to rip out your character model or whatever you have got on your piece of paper. All right. Now, I would say this piece of paper is relatively light. It's not too thick. It's not one of those kind of like premium bits of paper that you see. Not quite card, but you know, you could almost class it as card, couldn't you? Those really thick bits of paper. But no, I would say this is pretty much a standard piece, and it rips fairly easy with a, you know, a small kind of pinch. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to just tear a bit of just tear around it a little bit so there's less paper to work with. At the moment, this is a little bit overwhelming, and I always like to work in smaller sections. So that's what I'm going to do now. Of course, you might actually have some scissors to hand, guys, and you just cut out what you need. But for me, I actually don't. I don't know where it's gone, so I'm just going to tear this all off so it's pretty much a Crash in the middle. All right, I'm just going to go and do that now. You don't really need to see me do that. Okay then guys, so here we are. We have T-Brick's Crash in a little bit of more of a smaller form factor as I've just ripped off the main edges. Now, as you can see, I have just ripped a basic square, but of course I do need to get this a little bit closer now, and this is kind of where our tips and tricks are going to come into play to help you get the most, I would say, artistic look out of a ripped effect. Now, if you can see, to start with, just by doing this basic square here, the rip has just taken a little bit of the top layer off the colour, the print there, if you can see. All right, so there is a bit of a rip, but there's still a little bit of paper just at the top there. Now, that is the rip effect I want for this piece. Now, to be able to do that, there's two ways of tearing it. Okay, now this is where, you see,
Ripping isn't as straightforward as you see, guys.
So first of all, to get that effect, I'm just going to demonstrate on another piece here. I've got a bigger Crash piece here. And by the way, guys, I would advise definitely print off two pieces just in case something goes a little bit wrong. Now, you know me, I often say nothing can really go wrong in art. It really can't. And if it does, you can rework it to make it look really good. But on the odd occasion, for example, ripping, you might accidentally slip or, I don't know, trip up somewhere and maybe accidentally rip off something you didn't want to rip off, and then you may have to start again. So that's why I would advise always printing out two copies. But often, guys, I do always say that if you are looking to work with something, maybe that's not yours and you're doing a bit of a collaboration like I'm doing here, definitely print off 2 copies just so you have got something to fall back on. Right then, so to get that ripped effect, you actually want to be tearing towards you.
All right, towards you.
Okay. And if you tear towards you, that's when you can kind of get that real rip look, where some of the print is ripping off and then you've got a little bit of paper just left behind. Can you see that there? So you've still got the grey of the print and then you've got a little bit of white paper left where, yeah, it hasn't just quite ripped. You've got an extra layer just, you know, on top of it. And that's the exact rip that I want. If, for example, you rip the other way and you want more of a cleaner rip, I would say, then you need to rip kind of away from you.
You kind of rip away from you.
Like this. Whereas before, I was ripping towards me. If you want that more kind of rigid look without that white flare, you need to rip
away from you.
All right, just like that, okay? The same effect still happens, but it's on the opposite side now, so you don't get the white effect. All right, so I just thought I would share that with you guys if you are looking to do something like this with your art pieces. Okay, so I'll move these back to one side. Okay then, so I have got my smaller crash here, and what I want to do is just create a, just like a jagged border, and I think it will look really well. I haven't quite decided if I want to kind of go arc or just actually just create almost like a big dynamic piece. Yeah, maybe a little bit up there. Maybe it caves off just to the side there. You know, who knows? I think I just want the rip to just take its natural form. So here we go, guys. Let's just start ripping this thing and hope for the best. So yeah, here we go then. So I would quite like to rip towards me to kind of get that white effect here. And I'm just going to let the rip just take fold and see what happens. Okay. Oh, yes. All right. This is looking cool. And then just maybe rip above here, maybe. And again, I would quite like to rip, towards me. Oh, yes. Okay. This is looking quite cool. Oh, let's rip. Okay. And then maybe down here. Maybe just get a rip effect here. I mean, to be fair, I think maybe this is the best method if you want more of a rip to go your way. Place it on the table and then, rip in the direction, because you can kind of use your fingers to act as a bit of a guideline. If you want a bit more of a generic and organic kind of rip, then I would say just kind of like rip like that, just make it a little bit more chaotic and you'll get a bit more of a chaotic rip. So yeah. All right, and boom. All right, okay, cool. And of course, you just pop the debris off to one side. So you're working in a clear space. Oh, this is like, yeah, this is looking cool. I might just try and rip, just a little bit down here. So maybe make it a bit more of a, a line there. That's pretty cool. Okay, you know what? I think I'm happy with that. Let's go and just now place this on my piece of paper that I want it to go on and then see if it fits. So here we go. I've got my piece of paper here that I want to stick the crash on, and first of all we'll see if it fits quite nicely. Oh, okay. That's actually pretty cool. It's almost as if Crash is coming out a cave. I don't know if you get that vibe, but that is actually pretty nice. Is it a little bit wide? Oh, I don't know. I think it actually might be all right. Because if you look at the box art here, the totem poles are quite thin. They're quite, off to one side there. There isn't too much going on, which I can easily just pop into the side there. And I could just probably put a bit of a hill with a bit of vegetation with a mushroom just at the top there. So you know what? I'm actually quite happy with how that looks. I'm pretty happy with that rip. It's worked really well, actually. So yeah, okay. We will stick with that effect then. All right then, so moving on to the sticking process now to make sure we stick this down lovely and securely. What you need to do is get a spare piece of paper now, okay? And remove everything to one side, and you just need the bit that you're going to stick down first. So I've got my crash here, and I'm just going to turn him upside down. All right, just like that. Now, got my glue stick. All right, make sure it's, the lid is off. Oh, there we go.
Make sure it's, the lid is off. There we go. Of course, you've got to make sure the lid's off, guys.
Make sure it's, rolled up nice and firmly so we've got a good thick head on that. All right. And we need to make sure that these frays that are from the ripped effect is definitely glued. If there is a little bit of glue lacking, then they will start to, again, I'm going to use that word, fray up. Okay, and you don't want that. That's not a great look for your piece if that's the design you're going for. Now, because it has been ripped slightly, the paper is a lot thinner there as well. Okay, so you've just got to be very mindful that you don't go too vigorous with the gluing, because then that might rip up a little bit of the thinner paper that is left behind. Okay, so it is quite a challenge, but I'm sure we've got this. So what I want to do now is just work that glue into the sides of that paper there. All right. Now I'm not jabbing here and jabbing there. Okay, it's just light contact with the piece of paper that you want to stick down. The reason why I've got this piece of paper here is because you do need to be gluing straight onto your piece of paper and then onto the next to ensure there is enough glue to cover the area, the border that you are looking to stick down, okay? And of course, if I was to do that on my table, then you'd be getting glue everywhere, obviously, okay? Once you're done with this piece of paper can just get thrown away. I'm pretty sure, because you don't want like a piece of paper with like glue all over it, unless you can use it for other things. But for me, once my base bit of paper has got glue all over it, I can't really use it again for my art pieces that I normally do. Okay, so very lightly, remember guys, because the bits towards the sides here, they are a lot thinner. You don't want them to rip even more, because again, that could actually ruin your art piece a little bit, depending on what you're doing. Okay, and make sure you are fully coming from the piece of paper that you're wanting to stick down all the way onto the, let's call it
the glue paper.
Okay, lovely. All right, so just make sure it's all firmly in place. Ooh, try not to move your piece as well, otherwise it might get a bit of glue on the main piece that you are looking to stick down, as in the front of it. I did just move it there, but try and keep it as still as possible, guys. Anyway, once all the sides have been glued, just blob a few, bits in the middle to ensure the middle is all glued, and that will kind of avoid the air bubbles as well, if the middle bit is nicely glued as well. All right. Okay then, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, just make sure we clear the area, and then I would say we'd almost have to peel this off because you really have kind of glued those sides there. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if that kind of shows up, but you should have almost a mark of the your design from the glue there on that paper. Okay, so just keep it hanging. You don't want to get any glue on your worktop. Okay, bring back the other piece of paper that you were looking to stick this down on. And we're going to bring it into the camera here. Okay, and then my best advice is just to line up the base. All right, and then just, yeah, go and stick this down. All right, okie dokie. Now, once you've just lightly got this in place, this is when you need to get another piece of paper. All right, again, just a piece of paper that you don't mind wrecking, just a rough piece of paper. You're going to place it on top, get your fist, and then just circle that fist into your art piece. Okay. And now this will prevent any ink getting anywhere, any glue getting anywhere, and it'll just protect your piece as you start to stick it down. Okay. Make sure it's nice and down. Okay. Then just remove that piece of paper there. And oh yes, baby. I am very, very happy with that. I don't think there's any bits that are likely to come up there. So, okay. I am very, very happy with how that has come out. I'm absolutely loving that. I think once I've got some scissors, I might just snip the bottom bit off here. All right. And yeah, I can't wait to actually start adding a few extra details towards the sides there, and we'll do that tomorrow. Wow, wow, wow. What an art piece. I cannot wait to continue this, guys. And yeah, this is going to make a great giveaway for my 500 sub giveaway. Brilliant. Well then, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up in the main studio. And of course, guys, we're going to announce the winner of my Sparks art piece. Right then, guys, well, here we have it. Oh my gosh, I am super excited to bring this piece together. Wow, I just love the ripped effect, actually. Me not having the scissors has actually worked out a real treat. I really love this, and I can't wait for tomorrow to actually add, yeah, the extra bits of detail. Yeah, what an art piece for my 500 sub giveaway. Yeah, very, very excited. And again, thank you, T-Break Drawings, for doing this awesome collaboration. Yeah, brilliant. Well then, guys, yes, the time has come. We are going to see who is going to bag my Sparks piece for this giveaway. This marks my 450 subs, can you believe? And yes, we have just reached 461. Oh my gosh, so yeah, not long now till we actually do that Crash Bandicoot piece there. But yes, here we go. I have got all the names. I did have to rip them out because yes, I am a little bit scissorless. But yeah, here we go. Now, I did promise the Sesame Street bucket hat, so it's all the way at the top there. So let me reach up nice and high to get it. Oh, okay. And yes, guys, I got my lovely Sesame Street bucket hat going on here. I love it.
I got my lovely Sesame Street bucket hat going on here. I love it.
And of course, here we go. I'm going to, yes, sprinkle all these in here, and I will be giving them a bit of a rummage round. Now, yes, we've got some big names still yet to win. Technically, Vivi still hasn't had a win yet, although when David won our previous one, he actually kindly gifted the Simpsons piece to Vivi. So yeah, but technically no win yet for Vivi. Big A is desperate for a win. No big one for Big A. Big one for Big A. Craig is also dying for one. I'm hoping and praying for Craig to get this today. So let's take a look. And again, we did have some re-entries going in there. DA Gaming, Joel's, oh my gosh. So yeah, lots of re-entries as well, Naomi. So here we go. Let's give it a good old rummage.
Shake first, then a rummage.
Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I've got one. Don't know who it's going to be. And if it's David Adam Richards, then I think you got to gift it, Dave. Right, here we go then. Not looking, let's just take it straight to the camera. And who is this? Let's take a look. It is Craig! Yes! Oh my god! Well done, Craig! Yes! Oh my god, you've got a win! Well done, Craig! Fantastic! Well, there you go. Oh my god, just goes to show. If you continuously enter, then yes, you might actually get one. And well done, Craig. Where is my Sparks piece? I've got so excited. Let me just go and get it. Hey, here it is. You have bagged yourself the original copy. So yes, this hasn't been tampered with or anything. This is my original piece. Of course, it will be mounted onto some black card. If I can find some black card, it'll be some sort of card and it'll be gifted to you. Yes, I'll probably message you on Discord because I know you are a member of my community to see how you want me to get that to you, either via the post or digitally. But yes, well done, Craig. A massive congratulations. And yeah, all to play for my 500 sub giveaway as well. Yeah. And again, thank you so much to those who entered. Yeah. And Chloe, where were you? You weren't even in it. I've just got to say, Chloe, a beautiful moderator of mine and a great fan of the channel. But all through this, she's like, yeah, that's mine.
That's mine. This is mine.
Didn't even answer, guys.
Anyway, yeah, just all a big laugh. You've got to be in it to win it. Anyway, guys, just a quick one as well. I just thought I'd give you a bit of a gaming collection update before we end today. And oh yes, baby, we did do a little bit of a deep dive into the box yesterday of Resident Evil 4. I did it the whole artsy gamer vibe. We did do a complete and boxed experience of this, which was really, really fun. But oh yes, lots of people have been screaming out to me saying like, look, you've really got to go and play some of those original ones before you then go and get Requiem. It's a must. It will really whet your appetite and they're really great games. Don't sit on them. So yes, absolutely. I did go to CEX yesterday and I did pick up Resident Evil 2. Oh my gosh. So yes, next week there will be some complete and boxed experiences of some Resident Evils here. So I am going to do a complete and boxed of Resident Evil 2. Yes, it's PlayStation 4, the newer releases. It's not going to be the whole beautiful manual and stuff like that. But yes, we will have a little bit deep dive into this. And of course, guys, yes, I did pick up Village. Again, this was a PS5 version of this. So again, I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to have to get it on PS5, aren't I? And again, another complete and boxed of this will be coming up next week as well. I did get a little bit of an advertisement slip. I'm sure this code has been used, but if it hasn't, bag it. But yes, I did like this advertisement slip here. It was really cool. Lots of artwork going on there. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's not a manual, but there is actually some really nice artwork on here, which I would like to have a little bit of a deep dive into. Of course, the disc and yeah, the whole vibe with the front and the back and stuff like that. So yes, so I am on a little bit of a Resident Evil
Pilgrimage,
shall we say, to get going with the new one that has just been released. It was yesterday. Great reviews already. I have seen some YouTubers kind of post their thoughts and feelings, no spoilers or anything, but yeah, just screaming about how amazing that game is, and the art, the graphic design, and the graphic fidelity as well. Apparently is like it's almost real life. So yeah, very exciting things with that. So yes. Anyway, guys, well, that is it for me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And of course, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video where we'll actually add some kind of like fun vegetation, cool kind of quirky stuff around the borders of the Crash Bandicoot piece here that I've done with tea break drawing. Yeah. All right then, guys, that is me, Artsy Gamer, over and out.